Westeros, the Age of the Hundred Kingdoms. c. 6000 to 700 BC, over the centuries following the Undul invasion, hundreds of petty kingdoms formed across Westeros, eventually aggregating into several larger powerful realms, and ultimately, 7 large kingdoms. Some of the later great houses such as the Starks or Lannisters had previously managed to establish large hegemonies or high kingships over large regions, but in this time period they turned into large, well-organized, and centrally run kingdoms. c. 2000 to 700 BC, the final 7 kingdoms, as they were later known, coagulated from previous smaller kingdoms during this time period as they absorbed their neighboring rivals. This process is roughly said to have finished anywhere from 1,000 years before the War of Conquest to 1,000 years before the War of the Five Kings, varying by region. The fortunes of each kingdom rise and fall, then rise again over the centuries as they compete with each other for lands and power, fueling constant and petty border wars throughout the continent. The Stark kings expel pirates from the mouth of the White Knife River on the east coast, and to defend against further incursions founded the settlement that will later grow into White Harbor, the North's only major port. Around this time the Kingdom of the Reach hit a low point in its power, culminating in the Dornish sack of Highgarden, apparently prior to the Rhoynar migration, as these were Dornish kings, and not princes. In subsequent generations the Gardner kings of the Reach gradually rebuilt their strength again. c. 700 BC, the Rhoynar migrate to Dorne, after being driven from the Rhoyne River network in Essos by the Valyrians. House Martell intermarries with the Rhoynar led by Princess Nymeria and with their extra numbers conquers the rest of Dorne, unifying the entire region for the first time. House Manderley is exiled from the Reach but given safe haven in the north, where House Stark rewards them with rule over White Harbor. House Bolton is finally subdued by House Stark in the north. The Dornish marches in the Red Mountains remain as they have been for centuries, a contested borderland of endemic warfare between the Reach, the Stormlands, and Dorne. c. 400 BC, House Bolton rises again in rebellion against House Stark, but is subdued once more. Due to his actions in suppressing the Bolton rebellion, the younger son of the king in the north, Carlin Stark, is awarded lands confiscated from the north of the Bolton's former possessions, founding a cadet branch of House Stark. Over the generations, Carlshold becomes known as Carhold, and the Carlshold Starks become known as House Karstark. The Stormland successfully invades and conquers the Riverlands, under the Storm Kings of House Durrandon. This reduces the number of kingdoms to 7, the Kingdom of the North, the Kingdom of the Vale, the Kingdom of the Isles and Rivers, the Kingdom of the Rock, the Kingdom of the Reach, the Storm Kingdom, and the Principality of Dorne. c. 300 BC, the newly ennobled House Frey begins construction of a massive bridge and castle complex across the Green Fork of the Trident, which when completed is known as the Twins. The Freys rapidly amass great wealth from bridge tolls and rise to become one of the major noble families of the Riverlands, though they are looked down upon by other more ancient families as upstarts. c. 200 BC, House Targaryen, one of the aristocratic families of the Valyrian freehold, settles on Dragonstone Island in Blackwater Bay, to establish a Valyrian trading outpost. The Targaryens relocated to Dragonstone right before the doom of Valyria, along with the world's only surviving dragons. c. 100 BC, the Targaryens relocate their entire family and household to Dragonstone Island, just off the east coast of Westeros in Blackwater Bay, convinced by a prophecy that the destruction of Valyria is imminent. This proves true, as the doom of Valyria follows only a few years later, leaving the Targaryens on Dragonstone with the world's only surviving dragons. The Targaryens and their vassal houses on other islands in Blackwater Bay remain uninvolved with outside affairs, slowly building up their strength. c. 60 BC, some 3 generations before Aegon's landing, the Iron Islands enter into their second great era of expansion, conquering the territory of the Riverlands from the Stormlands. Unlike their first era of expansion, which conquered coastal territories across Westeros, this push focuses on conquering specifically the Riverlands, penetrating deep inland. The Ironborn hold everything between the Blackwater to the south and the Neck to the north, and from the west coast to the east coast. The Ironborn invasion is led by King Harwin of House Hor, and the Iron Islands continue to rule the Riverlands until the time of Harwin's grandson, Harrenhor, also called Harren the Black. Wishing to demonstrate his wealth and power, King Harren spends years and vast resources constructing a castle far more massive and formidable than any other in all of Westeros on the north shore of God's Eye Lake, Harrenhal, a fortress impregnable to ground attack. The enslaved local rivermen are forced to toil on the castle's construction, to build the tool of their own domination. Ironically, the construction of Harrenhal Castle finishes the very same day that the Targaryens and their dragons land on the east coast of Westeros to begin their conquest.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.